Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Licensed firearm holder held with extra ammo arrested. A licensed firearm holder, who is also a manager at a government entity, was arrested on Sunday after being held with extra rounds of ammunition. The police say the two 9mm rounds were seized during a mobile patrol in the Duane Park area of St. Andrew. Detectives assigned to the St. Andrew South Police are probing the circumstances which led to the man being in possession of more ammunition than he is licensed to carry. A source close to the investigation revealed that the Firearm Licensing Authority may form part of the probe. Protesting transport operators leave commuters stranded in Buff Bay, Portland. Commuters, including students, have been left stranded in Buff Bay, Portland, as transport operators have withdrawn their services. They are alleging that there is no designated route from Buff Bay to Port Antonio. The operators are arguing that the absence creates an inconvenience for commuters. The protest started from as early as 5 o'clock yesterday morning, and there is still little to no movement for commuters, especially students returning to school. Spokesperson for the protesting operators, Floyd Thomas, explained that 39 buses were assigned to the route Port Antonio to Oneto Bay and then to Ocho Rios via Buff Bay, but that during the height of the pandemic, 30 of the vehicles were sold by the owners, leaving only 9 buses to cover the existing route. 5 buses were rerouted by the Transport Authority, which claimed that they have the power to do anything, said Thomas. But that is only a stopgap measure. Those 5 buses are officially assigned to the route Port Antonio to Oneto Bay and Ocho Rios. We have applied to the Transport Authority to fill that void, but we are getting nowhere, he said. The operators have vowed to continue their protests unless their request for a road license to ply the route Buff to Port Antonio is honored. The operators argue that currently they are only able to ply the route Buff Bay to Skybo and Spring Gardens, which they say creates a serious strain on the commuting public. JPS continues to bat for lower house wiring cost. The Jamaica Public Service JPS is continuing its appeal for reduced house wiring cost. This after customers reveal that they have seen unacceptably high prices quoted by electricians and/or inspectors since the establishment of the Deregulated Government Electrical Regulators (GER). According to a release, the Light and Power Company said it had hoped that people would be shielded from said high cost and have requested that the Ministry of Energy put a cap on fees to make it more affordable. JPS revealed that despite the absence of a price cap, they have succeeded in obtaining these electrical services at lower cost and is therefore appealing to electricians and inspectors to review their prices with the objective of making electricity connections more affordable to all Jamaicans. Speaking on the company's observations, Senior Vice President of Customer Service, Ramsey McDonald said, "We live in a day and age where electricity is a basic commodity. It is therefore necessary to have appropriate supporting costs, such as those associated with house wiring and GER inspection." In the meantime, JPS shared that in response to the market's needs, it is preparing to embark on a training program to prepare candidates to become electricians and electrical inspectors, thereby expanding this pool of skilled professionals and facilitating faster and cheaper house wiring. Education Minister urges students to make good use of time back in classroom. As schools across the island resume full face-to-face learning, students are being urged to make good use of their time back in the physical classroom to make up the 2-year deficit resulting from ongoing pandemic. According to a release, Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams made the call while addressing a devotional exercise at the Old Harbour High School in St. Catherine on Monday. Settle down in order to catch up and recover stronger than where you were when the pandemic started. This is what we are asking of you. We are depending on you. You are the next workforce. Jamaica can only move forward if you, our next generation, really take it very seriously, she said. Williams said she was delighted to see children back in the classroom and urged them as they socialize with their peers to always observe the measures in place to prevent transmission of the virus, including wearing their mask. She also appealed to teachers and students not to turn up at school if they feel sick. Principal of Old Harbor High School, Linton Weird, said that the school has been preparing for the full resumption of classes for some time, with protocols put in place to protect the health of students and staff. He said that the students are happy to be back at school and noted that all stakeholders are sensitized of the need to be extremely careful to avoid contracting COVID-19. We want everyone to be safe, he added. Observer marks 29 years with firm commitment to Jamaica. The Jamaica Observer marks its 29th year of operation with a commitment from Executive Chairman Adam Stewart that the vision of the newspaper's founders, his late father, Gordon Bush Stewart, former banker Delroy Lindsay, and Caribbean media mogul Kent Garden, remains unshakable. 29 years ago, I was a young man looking on as my father and his business partners Delroy Lindsay and Kent Garden started the Jamaica Observer. Over time, Jamaica and the world have come to appreciate the value of the Observer, as the newspaper has indeed given Jamaicans another avenue for expressing and prevented the country from further exposure to one opinion on a range of issues, especially those of national importance. That is the essence of our democracy, and one that we intend to defend and protect, Stewart said on Sunday. Jamaicans can be assured that we will continue to serve our beloved country and we will not sway in our commitment to the ideas of our founders who saw in their investment the creation of a better Jamaica, he added. I commend the whole team for their dedication, especially during the pandemic. I also commend the team for their innovation and zeal to provide readers across all our platforms with a product that prides itself on quality journalism and that has the nation's interest at heart. Our investment in the Observer is firm as we share the vision of these formidable newspaper founders, and we look forward to marking our 30th anniversary serving this great nation, added Stewart, who took over as executive chairman of the companies in the Appliance Traders Group, which includes the Sandals and Beaches Resort chain, after the passing of his father in January 2021. Managing Director Julian Rogers, who joined the Observer in April 2019, said while his tenure at the newspaper thus far has been short, he has come to respect the work and commitment of the team. Rogers, a veteran Barbadian-born broadcaster and journalist who received an MBE for his 50 years of contribution to the media, said he's committed to the vision of building out the excellent product that is the Observer over multiple platforms. He too commended the team for their commitment and service to the nation and the diaspora, especially during the pandemic. The first edition of the Jamaica Observer hit the streets on March 7, 1993, as a weekly publication after months of planning and preparation as its then office at Fagan Avenue in Grants Bend community, with a core group comprising Desmond Allen as editor, Elaine Ferguson features editor, Carol Embeden, new editor, Horace Helps, sports editor, Neil Faircloth, production officer, Sandra Champany, layout editor, Michael Garden, photo editor, Corinne Barnes, senior reporter, Vernon Davison, chief sub-editor, Donna, advertising manager, Susan, graphics, Roy, layout reporters, Grace Delroy, Keon, and Ingrid, Leonie Cooper, typist, and Vinette Anderson, purchasing. They work under the guidance of Managing Director and Editor-in-Chief Owen Baptist. From the outset, the newspaper established itself as a trendsetter in the industry when it became the first newspaper in the Caribbean to print in full color. The paper was printed at Florida Offset, part of Garnet Group, which also publishes USA Today in Miami, Florida. After going to a twice-weekly publication in June 1993, the Observer went daily on December 11, 1994. Over the years, the Observer grew from strength to strength, creating a name for itself with blistering stories, amazing photographs, inclusive commentary, and giving birth to a range of magazines and events that captured the heart and minds of Jamaican people. Reflecting on the 29 years, Allen on Sunday recalled his involvement in the birth of the newspaper. Ignorance is a bliss, at least initially. I flung myself at the opportunity, at 38 years of age, to become the founding editor of the Jamaica Observer on the mistaken belief I was soon to learn that it was going to be a stroll in the park. That belief was embodied by me, having assembled this impressive team of young journalists who still today include Vernon Davison, current executive editor, publications, and Horace Helps, editor-at-large, who is now the Sunday Observer editor, Allen said. And yet, on this 29th anniversary of the Observer, I confess it has been the honor of my life to have been part of this exciting adventure in creating one of the most formidable and fleet-footed newspapers this side of the 20th century. I relish in the thought that with the dynamic team on board, the future of the paper looks especially good, he said. It would be remiss of me not to pay tribute to two of the key personalities who made this all possible and who have left us now, Chairman Gordon Booth Stewart and Dr. George Phillips. I hope that we continue to make them proud, added Allen. Davidson, too, paid tribute to Stewart, Lindsay, and Ken Gordon for starting the Observer, pointing out that the investment strengthened the country's democracy. The past 29 years have not been easy, but they have enriched my life, and I would like to believe the lives of my fellow Jamaicans, as this newspaper has played a major role in the country's development, said Davison. We have an excellent team of journalists, designers, sales executives, administrative, production, circulation, and auxiliary staff who work together every day to provide Jamaica and the world with a fresh product every day, a product that helps our people make informed decisions and observes the highest tenets of journalism. For that, I am extremely proud, he said. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.